You don't need to quit your job to start building something on the side. In fact, quitting before you have a plan is the biggest mistake that you can make. I built my email marketing agency to over $5 million in client revenue over 6 years, and I'm going to walk you through the exact 12-week system that lets you land your first clients while still working a full-time job. Week by week, step by step, how much time it actually takes and what results to expect so that you can quit with a plan, not just hope. Now, email marketing is one of the easiest high income skills that you can learn, period. Because you don't need followers, you don't need fancy tech or even a website. You are literally learning how to make a business more money just by writing words that sell. Every brand on earth has an email list. Like, open your phone right now and you will see some of your favorite brands sending you emails every day. But most brands have no idea how to turn these people into repeat customers. And that's where email marketing comes in. You write the emails that get people to open, click, and buy again. That's it. And because you're helping these businesses actually make more money from what they've already spent to get these customers and prospects, they are going to happily pay you thousands every single month. And it's not a cost to them. It's an investment that pays itself back. And here's the wild part. Email's been around for decades. You and I both know that. And it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Every year people say, oh, email's dead. And every year it keeps printing cash for these businesses. Now with AI, it's only getting better. You can write faster, personalize emails deeper, and ideas that would usually take you weeks to test, you can test them in minutes. So if you learn this skill now, you're not only learning how to send emails, you're actually learning how to use technology to print money for businesses in a way that's timeless, scalable, and future-proof. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and blow smoke up your ass. I'll leave the other gurus and influencers to do that. You're gonna have to put in the work. I'll just keep it a buck, especially in the beginning for your first paying clients. You can expect to pay you anywhere between $1,000 to $1,500 every single month. Now, let's talk about proof of results and validation. This is the most important thing that I need you to get first. Don't be a greedy where you're only focused on getting as much cash and clients as possible. In the beginning, you need to get results as fast as humanly possible. Then we can leverage those results to get more clients, and then it's a case of rinse and repeat. At 3 to 4 clients, you're at 3K to 4K every single month. And then we can look at increasing our rates as we get better and more confident. Now we know that email marketing is a high income skill that's going to get you to quit your job within 12 weeks. Now we want to understand the sub skills that are actually going to get us paid. This is where most people never actually do anything because they are so hung up on trying to be perfect. Look, we are not chasing mastery or perfection. We're looking for a 7 out of 10. You're going to get better the more you put in. The first skill is copywriting. You need to understand the basic principles of copywriting. What makes good copy versus bad copy. Copy is around you all day long. Don't be intimidated by it either. It's just the words that we are going to use to ethically get people to do what we want. That is, buy my shit. That's all we're doing. Once we understand the basics, then we can get AI to cut our workload by 80%, and then we spend the other 20% just editing and making sure the copy slaps. Now, here's the thing with AI. It's just a tool. It's not a replacement. You can use AI to draft the emails, but if you don't understand what makes good copy, your clients will smell that AI slop bullshit from a mile away. That's just how it is. And this is why we need to get good enough to identify what makes sense versus what doesn't. Once you understand the principles, then you can feed that into AI, and then it becomes a weapon. But without the fundamentals, AI is just going to help you fail faster. For copywriting, these are the books that I want you to get. Cash Advertising, or you can get Copywriter's Handbook. Just pick one, don't dwell. And then you can either buy them on Amazon, or you can Google the title of the book and just put PDF after, and you can get it for free. The next skill is email marketing. The best platform to use is Klaviyo for the type of businesses that we're going to be going after anyway. This is where we take the words that we've written and we build out emails to send to that brand's customers. Klaviyo have a free training academy that you can learn literally everything about the platform. Pro tip for you here, sign up to other brands' email lists, and I want you to start building a database of emails, and then you can get a burner email account and then start subscribing to those emails so you can fully immerse yourself in this world and you start to see these things that were literally just right under your nose. The next skill is sales. Again, bear with me. We're not trying to be Jordan Belfort in Wolf of Wall Street. That's not what we're doing here. We are simply needing to understand the frameworks and the principles of what gets a prospect to take out their wallet and pay you for your services. A few resources that I would recommend is the Founder-Led Revenue Growth channel on YouTube. It's run by a guy called Mark Wayshak, and you can just search by the oldest videos, and then I want you to watch every single video every single day. Then there are a few books books that I would recommend. Fanatical Prospecting is one. Never Split the Difference is another. And then You Can't Teach a Kid to Ride a Bike at a Seminar. Another pro tip is once you understand the basics, again, we can feed this into ChatGPT and then role play with ChatGPT and then ask ChatGPT to analyze how we've done and then rate us out of 10. Quick note, if you're a high achieving professional making at least $60,000 a year and you want to land your first 2 to 3 email marketing clients in 12 weeks without quitting your job, I actually teach this exact system. I work with people who are serious about building something real. This isn't about chasing quick cash. So if this is you, just click the link in the description to learn more. That said, let's get back into the video. Now, I want to talk about positioning. Positioning is super important. Let's be real. Nobody wants to hire the person that came fresh out the womb with zero experience. Nobody wants to hire a newbie seeking clients. So here is the best way to ethically position yourself as an expert, even if you have experience. I need you to pay attention. I do not want you to call yourself a freelancer or say you run an agency or a business. When you say you're an email marketing consultant and you work with a select number of brands, it feels way more personal and a one-to-one experience that you're offering people. It also feels like you prioritize exclusivity and are picky with who you work with. You don't need a big agency or hundreds of clients to get a client. I want you to use what you think is a disadvantage as your advantage. Then I want you to go for smaller brands to begin with, just in the beginning, because there are way more brands doing under 6 figures versus 7 figures. And they are massively underserved, like massively, because agency owners wouldn't touch them with a barge pole. They wouldn't spit on them if they were on fire. That's just how it is in this industry. But again, this is your advantage, because by the time you stack 4 to 5 of these at 1.5K a pop, you, my friend, are laughing. We want to target the brands that are doing anywhere between 10 to 80K a month in revenue as your first couple of clients. These type of brands, they usually consist of the founder and then maybe like an assistant or someone else in the business. And these guys are usually the ones managing their own messages, i.e. the founders, they're the ones managing their own messages. So it's easier to reach out to these guys. So you're going to find these brands when you are scrolling on either TikTok and Instagram. So instead of doom scrolling at 2 a.m. and inhaling every bit of content on the timeline like a glutton, I want you to actually start saving these brands so then we can create a hot list of brands that we can reach out to later. Now, when it comes to the type of brands that you want to work with, there are a few untapped niches that don't get hit up often, such as electronics, home decor, etc. I want you to forget about fashion, jewelry, brands that you're passionate about. That helps, but that's not what I want you to do, because those guys get hit up all the time. I'm not saying that it's not going to work if you reach out to those people. I'm just saying they get hit up quite a lot. Now for the part where you're going to be messaging these brands and getting them interested in your services. So I'm just going to be real. You need to eat for a few weeks. It is what it is, which means early mornings and late nights and giving up your weekends. I need you to wake up an hour earlier as a bare minimum and do your daily non-negotiables. I need you to respond to every single message that comes through overnight during your lunch breaks, rather than going on lunch with people that add zero value to your life or scrolling celebrity gossip on the timeline. I need you to leverage the time that you have, because that is all you have right now. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. These messages need to be personalized to the brand. We need to show that we understand them and offer value, either in the form of a sample or an audit. While you're working full-time, I need you to be messaging at least 20 to 30 brands every single day. And then once you quit, you can scale this to 50 to 100 brands a day. Now, quick pro tip for you: if you are bilingual, I want you to try and reach out to brands in other countries that speak the languages that you speak. This is a untapped superpower. So for example, if you can speak Spanish, you can message brands in Spain, Chile, Argentina, and these are the countries that consistently rank high in GDP per capita, meaning they can afford to buy your shit. And the reason this is your unique advantage is because most people can only speak English. I am most people, and that means I can only target brands in the UK, the US, Australia, Canada, etc. For every 20 to 30 messages that you send, you can expect 4 to 6 people are going to respond, and of those, 1 to 2 will be positive, and then you'll probably book about 1 to 2 calls. Now, let me show you what this looks like in practice. You have people interested, you're getting a lot of replies, you're feeling gas, you're feeling hype, people are wanting to book calls with you. We need to be able to get these people to actually buy our shit and pay up front. Yes, up front. Meaning once we pitch, they prepay for the services a month in advance. Not after, but before. In order to do this, we need to understand the prospect inside out. You're not speaking, you are simply listening. Listen to understand, not to respond. Silence is absolutely golden in sales. You want to make sure that you record the call so that you can then go back to it later and just really understand what's happening and just being present. important. You can use AI tools like Fathom. Obviously, please check your local laws on recording. But in the 6 years I've been doing this, I've never had a NPC say,
"Yo, why are you recording the call?"
Totally fine, not an issue. And what this allows you to do, like I said, is it allows you to be more present. It allows you to write down key things that you might want more clarity on. So the things you should be asking are, what are their pain points? How long have they had this problem? What's happening in their business currently? What are the gaps within their current setup? And how does this affect other areas of the business? We are not pitching here. We are simply understanding whether we can help them or not. It's that simple. It's important to preface that as well when you start the call. After we've gathered intel from the first call, we then want to invite them to a second call. So between the first call and the second call, we want to audit their current setup, and we don't want to take any longer than 2 days in doing so, because money loves speed and time kills deals. We are not waiting 10 days or 5 days or 7 days. We need to make it 2 days max, period. This is where we present the audit and absolutely everything that we found, and then we show them what it's costing them, because nothing, and I mean nothing, hits more than the amount of money that you are missing out on every single day simply from not having the right systems or things in place. And then we make them the offer. So as a beginner, you should be closing anywhere between 1 and 7 sales calls, simply because you're just not experienced, and that's okay. That's chill. You're gonna suck. It just is what it is, right? You can use AI to then analyze your sales calls and start looking into where you went wrong. After that, you're gonna expect to close 1 in 5. And then it's gonna be more like 1 in 3, the better you become. Now, pricing wise, we want to start at 1,000 to 1.5K a month. Once we hit 5 clients and we've gotten results, we can raise that to 2K to 2.5K, and then you can charge as much as 5K every single month. There are so many things that I can say on pricing, which is a whole video in itself. So let me know in the comments if you want me to cover this in a separate video. Got your first few clients, you now need to juggle it with your 9 to 5. All good, I've got you. In order for you to manage your time, we need to be allocating at least 8 to 10 hours per week in the evenings and the weekend. I need you to make sure that you are responsive as with your clients. I want you to be sharing your wins with them. I want you to get testimonials immediately when they're on a high, when they've gotten like a good result. And then I want you to record this as an interview. I want you to check in with them every Monday or Friday with what you're working on and any outstanding information that you need from them. This is absolutely crucial. Look, I get it. We're all busy. So for example, if you're a parent, do it when the kids are asleep, or you could get your significant other to help you, or family, whoever. I just need you to get it done. I need you to wake up earlier. Remember, you are doing it for them. Yes, it's gonna burn. Yes, it's gonna feel uncomfortable. Yes, you might even feel stupid. You're gonna feel exhausted. You're gonna feel tired. But I am not about to lie to you and say it's gonna be easy like these other gurus and bros spewing absolute shit. Maybe you're juggling a very hectic, high demanding job. Again, remember the goal is to get out of this job. So I want you to use your lunch breaks and wake up earlier, and then the weekends. Maybe you're studying, maybe you're going to school, you're doing a master's, wherever that may be. I need you to finish schoolwork first and then wake up earlier. Days that you don't have lectures, I need you to work on this. Now, the next thing is proof and niching down. Proof changes absolutely everything. Think about it like this. If I needed a heart transplant, I'm not going to hire a general surgeon, right? I'm going to hire a heart transplant surgeon who specializes in heart surgery and has done 100 successful surgeries. That's the power of proof. It literally makes you the obvious choice. The riches are in the niches, or for my UK lot, the riches are in the niches. In the beginning, we can go with loads of different brands and businesses that we can choose to work with, and then you can see which ones you get the best results for and have had the most fun working with. Then you can narrow it down. And then once you get more case studies, it is literally a game of rinse and repeat. Now, once we get results in a specific niche, we want to start targeting brands in that niche, and then we want to scale it up. Then we can start increasing prices, and then we can also start targeting bigger brands. Now, naturally, you're going to find your confidence going all the way up. You're going to have a little pep in your step. You're going to know what you're talking about. And then closing just becomes so easy and so effortless. Now, you've heard of 401ks and pension pots. Shout out my UK lot. That's not going to help you reach financial freedom. And it's not going to allow you to quit your job. Realistically, like, let's keep it a buck, right? Instead, I need you to build what I like to call a get out of jail pot. Every single person needs a get out of jail pot. And it's the stash that you quietly build brick by brick to buy back back your freedom when you are done playing corporate prisoner. It's that simple. And I would say that you want to get that number to a minimum of 6 months of living expenses. And I'm going to show you how it works and how to stack it up. In regards to the quick maths, I want to actually show you in real numbers like what this actually looks like, right? So let's just say in month 1, you sign your first client and you sign him for $1,500 a month. That means you have a total of 1 client, right? Then in month 2, you have that same client. So this guy over here, he actually stayed on for month 2. And then with this client that stayed on for month 2, you sign these 2 as well. An accumulation of all the revenue from these guys is basically going to give you $4,500. And $4,500 is going to be the 3 clients. Okay. In month 3, what happens is you still kept this guy, right? And with this guy, again, 1,500. The other 2, they also came over, right? So all these guys moved over. Now, what happens is these guys are still paying 1.5 and this guy's still paying 1.5. But here's where it gets wicked. Here's where it gets really, really interesting. You just signed these 2 new clients, right? And with these 2 new clients, you've now increased your rates, right? Because you've become more confident. You are getting results for these guys over here, all 3 of them, which is fantastic. But now what's happening is that with these 2 over here, you're now charging $2,000 each, which now brings you to $8,500, right? And that's with 5 clients. Now, if we look at the first 3 months, and with the first 3 months, what I mean is that we are going to add this amount and we are going to add this amount and we are going to obviously add this 1,500. That is actually going to give us $14,500, which is just insane, right? Now, in month 4 to 6, let me show you what happens. This motherfucker, eventually, he just cancelled the contract, right? He's gotten to that point where he's not continuing, but you still have these guys. And again, it's like that compounding effect, right? You go from month 1 to month 2 to month 3, like you're still keeping everything in that pot. Now with these guys, 1,500, 1,500. Remember, these 2 started with the new rates, which is 2K, 2K, and then you've got a new client for 2K, which means you are now averaging anywhere between 10K to 12K per month, which is exactly where you want to be. What that means is that month 4 to 6, the total for that is actually going to be $30,000. And then the total over 6 months is actually going to be $44,500, which is insane, right? And that's money that you are literally just putting into that get out of jail pot. You're not touching this. Like, it's absolutely insane. So this is how much we are left with. Obviously, this doesn't factor in churn and expenses and all that kind of stuff. It's just a visual representation to show you what's possible. Do not, and I mean do not, touch any of the money that you make from this. Just use the money from your job to live, and then the remaining should be used for your get out of jail pot. Once you quit, you have 40 hours a week that you can fully immerse yourself and commit yourself to. And then you can scale to 8 to 10 clients in month 1 after quitting your job and hitting 15 to 20K a month. By month 2 to 3, you can then hit $25,000 to $30,000 a month with 10 to 15 clients as you raise your rate. Let me show you what that looks like with some quick maths. Weeks 1 to 4, you're going to learn email marketing, copywriting, and sales while working your job. Week 5 to 8, you're going to do outreach after work and land your first 1 to 2 clients. Week 9 to 12, you're going to deliver results, you're going to get proof, and then you're going to sign 2 to 3 clients. By month 6, you've got 12 to 20K saved, and then you've got 4 to 6 clients paying you monthly, and then you actually have a quit plan. This isn't about quit and hope for the best. This is build the foundation while you still got an income, prove the model works, and then make the jump when you have clients paying you. Now, if you want me to walk you through this 12-week system step by step, so the positioning, the cold email and cold DM templates, the sales process, how to deliver to your first clients, I teach this to high achieving professionals who are actually serious about building something real. Click the first link in the description to learn more, or if you want to keep learning, check out this video on screen now. YouTube thinks you'll like it.